Hey everybody, Keith Worrall with OFM on the ice. It's a little late getting out this year. I've been on the ice 3 or 4 times. It's been really sketchy. The ice has been actually quite dangerous on a lot of lakes. You really got to be careful. Today we're on a lake in northern Wisconsin. We've got about anywhere from 9 inches to 11 inches of good ice. We've moved around quite a bit trying to find areas where old GPS points had good weed beds that don't have weeds anymore, that have died off over the years. So what we're doing now is fishing a trough transition area from a reed line point. You got about a 6 to 7 foot trough, and then it comes back up onto a mud flat that usually has weeds, but there's no weeds on this year. So what we did, instead of fishing the mud flat with the weeds, now we've got our tip ups out in 6 to 7 feet, hopefully trying to get pike that are chasing the perch around out in this trough. So we're going to see what we can catch. I'm going to get a couple more tip ups in and get the Aqua-Vu ready.
Was it spinning?
It was spinning a little bit, yeah. I think that's that ginormous minnow on this one. Oh yeah, it's there still.
Oh yeah, she's going.
Feel decent?
Yep. Yeah.
Took some line out.
Yeah.
Well, after moving for the second time today, we got into a trough that's about 6 to 7 feet deep, and there's no weeds, but it may just pay off.
Well, she ate this thing.
First one of the day. Well, we literally just put this flag in about 4 or 5 minutes ago, and we're drilling across the top of this flat, trying to find any kind of weed to set the shack on. And there's a fish on here already. You see it spinning pretty good now. Another little northern, I'm guessing. Little pike is better than no pike.
Yes, it is.
Nice.
That's a nice fish.
Yeah. So we know we're in a decent spot with the tip-ups. Now we just need to find a better area for jigging. Try to get in some perch. What I'm using is 30-pound fluorocarbon leaders on these pike. That way they don't cut through. Fluorocarbon's pretty stout. I mean, I've been using steel pretty much my whole life, and I switched to fluorocarbon about 2 or 3 years ago, mainly just because a lot of my friends were using mono and they were breaking off and losing fish a lot. So fluorocarbon, every now and again it'll start to get a little dinged up. That happens. I usually have, if I start out with about a 2.5 to 3 foot leader, as you can see now I'm down to about 1.5 feet. That's because every time it gets chewed up, I'm cutting off that 3 or 4 inches and then retying. If it gets down to less than a foot, then I'll put a new leader on. Then it'll be about like that, 2.5 to 3 feet long. Like this one's going to be the hot flag of the day. We moved this one a little while ago, caught 1 pike on it. Trying to get a few pike for dinner. My boys really love northern, so. I have a really big minnow on this and it's not moving, so either that fish is down there sucking on it or it dropped it. The bobber's gone. He's sucking on it. Might be a little bit better. Or that, or he's just wrapped up. Yeah, he's just wrapped up. Unravel him. There we go. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
No. That's what we're out here for, trying to get a few for dinner, and these are perfect eaters. I don't like to keep the really big fish, and then obviously the small fish, there's no point. If you take the Y bones out, there's no meat left, so 22.5 inches, perfect.
Trying to conserve minnows today.
Yeah, we're down to 4 or 5 minnows. Well, maybe we'll get lucky enough he'll spit it out. I have to flop it a little bit.
Leg, tripod.
Really? Yeah. Look at
The tripod one went up.
that. That's not how you eat an apple either. I'm not sure what just happened, but let's go get that hip up.
Didn't drop it this time, huh?
Nope. Oh, she does not want to come up. Oh, and then it just shot up out of the hole for me. Hey.
Little snake-a-thon today, but it's still fun.
Yep,
Having a blast. Little pike after little pike after little pike. Got 3 for dinner. We've thrown, this will be the second one going back in.
See you later, little guy. A little bit bigger.
A little more girth to it. Back down the hole. Got a little bit of weight on there at least.
Yeah,
That'll be a nice fish later on for a few years.
Another snaker.
There's something about ripping a fish through a tiny hole in the ice that gives the guy joy, you know?
Oh, nice lip hook.